Everyone in the office laughed at the cleaner. They called him poor, useless, invisible, old, and wretched. But what none of them knew was that the entire company belonged to him. Mr. Daniel is a very gentleman who doesn't look at what people say about him but just carries out his work. Every morning before sunrise, Mr. Daniel arrived carrying his mop and bucket. Nobody greets him, nobody thanks him. To everyone, he is just a common cleaner. Among all workers, Sarah was the worst. She never missed an opportunity to insult Mr. Daniel. "You are too slow," she shouted. "Maybe you are too old to work." The office burst into laughter. She made her colleague laugh at Mr. Daniel at every given opportunity that she has, but what she didn't know was something bigger was coming for her. Mr. Daniel never argued. He simply smiled, picked up his bucket and continued cleaning. But behind that quiet smile was a secret worth millions. Mr. Daniel cleans quietly as everyone walks past. The workers are already on their way home, so he continues his job before he left. Not everyone in the office treated Mr. Daniel badly. There was one person, one young woman, who always saw him as a human being. Her name was Emily. Emily is a young pretty girl who also works in the Prestige Holdings. She's a young beautiful girl who treats everyone who needed to be treated right, fair and kind. She's a very kind-hearted girl. She was the only one who saw Mr. Daniel for a true man, holding up to his responsibility and not looking at what people could say. Every morning, Emily was the first to say, "Good morning, Mr. Daniel." And every morning, the cleaner smiles, responding to her, "Good morning, my daughter." The greeting only lasted a few hours, but to Mr. Daniel, it meant everything because respect costs nothing. Unfortunately, Sarah hated seeing Emily talk to the cleaner. One afternoon, she walked over. Her voice was cool. "Emily, why are you wasting your time talking to a common cleaner?" she said. Emily looks at Sarah, then she smiles and says, "Because kindness doesn't depend on someone's job." The office suddenly became quiet. While everyone believed Mr. Daniel lived a miserable life, there was a side of him no one in the office had ever seen. When the work ended, Mr. Daniel was on his way home. No workers noticed him. The security guards immediately stood at attention. "Good evening, sir." Mr. Daniel smiled. "Good evening." Their respect wasn't for a cleaner, it was for a man they knew very well. Moments later, a black SUV rolled slowly towards Mr. Daniel. The other driver quickly stepped out and opened the door. Without saying a word, Mr. Daniel got in. 30 minutes later, the SUV stopped in front of a magnificent mansion. Mr. Daniel stepped out. Rows of house staff stood waiting. They greeted, "Welcome home, sir." Seated in the dining table is Mr. Daniel. His personal maid gently serves his dinner, yet, despite all his stress for the day, his mind remained on one thing: Emily, the only employee who had shown him genuine kindness ever since he became a cleaner in his own company.
Has father returned home? Yes, sir. Good. Tomorrow, I'll pay him a visit.
"Father," the son called out, "how much longer will you keep doing this? They insult you every single day. I can end it tomorrow." Mr. Daniel smiled gently. "No, not yet," he says. Character is revealed when people think you have nothing. The CEO lowered his head. He had built billion-dollar companies, but even at that, he still listens to his father's wisdom. The following morning, everything changed. Mr. Daniel quietly mopped the executive hallway. He never noticed that a little water splashed into Sarah's expensive designer heels and she flamed up. Sarah's face turned red. "Look what you have done," she shouted at Mr. Daniel without thinking. She raised her hand, ready to slap him immediately. But before her hand could touch him, a voice echoed through the hallway. "Sarah!" It was Emily who called out to her. "Have you lost your mind? He's old enough to be your father. Apologize immediately." The hallway fell silent just as Emily says that word. Nobody could say anything, not even Sarah. During lunch break, Emily found Mr. Daniel sitting alone outside the building. She handed him a bottle of water. Are you okay? She asked while smiling, and Mr. Daniel smiled to her. Don't worry, my daughter. I'm fine. Just remember one thing today. Kindness always comes back. Emily stared at Mr. Daniel. There was something different about him. He carried himself like a man who has nothing to prove. His clothes says cleaner, but his confidence was something else. Mr. Daniel's phone vibrated. He glanced at the screen. He says, I will see you tomorrow, my daughter. Emily accidentally looked at the phone. She froze. The message read, board meeting, tomorrow, 9 o'clock a.m. She found a cleaner going to a board meeting. Something didn't add up, actually. Sarah was in the human resource manager office asking him to fire the cleaner. Just imagine someone asking to fire the owner of the company where she works, like the person who pays her salary. The HR manager listened quietly. Sarah, are you sure you want to make this complaint? He asked. She nodded confidently. Absolutely. I want him fired. I don't care who he is. I just want him out of this office, out of my space, out of my eyes. Okay, I'll look into it, the human resource manager says. Sarah smiled. She believed she had won. The entire office was busy, but someone couldn't stop thinking it was Emily. Who exactly is Mr. Daniel? She kept asking herself. Across the hallway, Mr. Daniel noticed Emily watching. He smiled and gently nodded. Emily smiled back at him. Sarah saw everything. She rolled her eyes. That's cleaner again. Emily really needs better friends. The others laughed. Just then, an email arrived. Subject, mandatory executive board meeting. Attendance required. 10 o'clock a.m. The office became quiet. Sarah smiled. This must be about the cleaner, she says. I'm sure the management finally listened. Meanwhile, Mr. Daniel quietly finished cleaning. He removed his gloves, washed his hands, and looked at his wristwatch. Then he said, it is almost time. At this very moment, the acting CEO stood up. He adjusted his suit and walked toward the boardroom. Every executive immediately followed. Sarah laughed out loudly as she saw Mr. Daniel walking towards the boardroom, and she says, maybe the cleaner got lost, and why is he even dressed like that? The other colleagues laughed, and Sarah said, the boardroom isn't meant for somebody like him, and other employers laughed as well. Mr. Daniel ignored them all and continued walking towards the boardroom. The entire company slowly made its way towards the executive boardroom. Everyone expected another ordinary meeting, but today, history was about to be made. As for Sarah, she expected Mr. Daniel to get fired, but let's see who gets fired first. Mr. Daniel stopped outside the boardroom. He looked at the large wooden doors, then he smiled. The time has finally come. Sarah burst into laughter. Where do you think you are going? She says to Mr. Daniel. This meeting is for executives only. The hallway became silent. Mr. Daniel replied calmly, I am where I'm supposed to be. Sarah laughed even louder. The employees joined in. Emily stepped forward. Please, leave him alone. He has done nothing wrong. Mr. Daniel simply nodded. Thank you, my daughter. Suddenly, the elevator doors opened. Every employee turned around. The CEO has arrived. Sarah quickly smiled. Good morning, sir. Every employee greeted him, but the CEO didn't answer. He kept walking straight toward Mr. Daniel. The hallway became completely silent. Sarah frowned. Emily held her breath. Nobody understood why the CEO was walking straight towards the cleaner. The CEO kept walking, not towards Sarah, not towards the executive, straight forward to Mr. Daniel. The hallway felt completely silent. Everybody questioning themselves. Why is he walking towards the cleaner? Sarah smiled confidently. She whispered, now he's finally going to fire him. Nobody noticed the CEO's eyes were filled not with anger but with respect. Without saying a word, the CEO slowly lowered his head. The executives behind him did the same. The hallway froze. The CEO finally spoke. His voice echoed through the hallway. Good morning, Father. Nobody moved. Nobody shaked. Sarah blinked. Father? Emily covered her mouth. The HR manager quietly lowered his head. Mr. Daniel smiled. He gently placed his hand on his son's shoulder. My son, you have kept everyone waiting. The CEO smiled. Please forgive me, father, the son responded. Mr. Daniel looked around. Every face, every laugh, every insult, he remembered them all. But he smiled anyways. Mr. Daniel spoke softly. Let's go. The CEO immediately stepped aside, opening the boardroom doors for his father. Inside the boardroom, every executive immediately stood because Mr. Daniel, the CEO, had entered. Mr. Daniel immediately looked around the room. Then he smiled. Please sit down. Only after he spoke did everyone sit. Outside, Sarah's hands began shaking. She whispered, I insulted the owner's father. Emily quietly closed her eyes. Everything finally made sense. Inside the meeting, Mr. Daniel finally spoke. I didn't wear this uniform because I needed a job. I wore it because I wanted to know how this company truly treats people. Silence fills the room. I have watched the respectful, the arrogant, the honest, and those who only respect executive suits. No one could look him in the eyes. Mr. Daniel smiled. But one person passed the test. Her name is Emily. Minutes later, the boardroom doors opened again. Everyone outside immediately stood. Mr. Daniel looked at Emily. Young lady, thank you for seeing a human being in me when everyone else only saw a cleaner. Emily's eyes filled with tears. Mr. Daniel turned to everyone. Never judge a person's value by the uniform they wear. Character will always attract appearance. The hallway remained silent, but everyone learned a lesson they would never forget. Mr. Daniel turned and looked at Sarah, and she could no longer hold back her tears. She stepped forward and she says, I'm sorry, sir. I judged you by your uniform. Please forgive me. Mr. Daniel smiled gently. I already forgive you, but forgiveness doesn't replace consequences or doesn't erase consequences. Mr. Daniel looked around the company one last time. Then he spoke calmly. Sarah, you are forgiven. But this company is built on respect, not pride. Today, your employment ends. He paused, then continued. If life ever gives you another opportunity, treat everyone with dignity, whether they wear a suit or a janitor wear. Because character is the greatest qualification. Sarah quietly nodded, accepting the decision. Then Mr. Daniel smiled at everyone. From today, we begin a new chapter. This company will become a place where every cleaner, every security guard, every receptionist, and every executive will be treated with equal respect. The employees applauded, and then he turned to the workers who also connived with Sarah and said to them, all of you have been dismissed from your duty today. Some wiped away their tears. Emily was promoted, and she smiled proudly. The CEO looked at his father with admiration, and Sarah walked away, not in anger, but carrying a lesson that would change her life forever. Moral lesson: never underestimate anyone because of the clothes they wear or the work they do. True greatness is revealed by character, humility, and kindness. The respect you give today may become the blessing you receive tomorrow. I hope you enjoy watching your stories. Bye. See you in my next episode. I love you all.